whoever didn't recognize me, that's okay. So that's number one. Any questions? Pretty basic stuff. Number two, you cannot close a sale without opening it first. And that's key. We're all salespeople and we know. Yes, we want to close a sale. Yes, we want to bring in that revenue. Yes, we want to bring in those commissions. How are we going to get that if we don't even open the sale first? So I bring us back to Best Buy in my days, where we actually used a sales method called the Care Plus process. Has anybody ever heard of that before? Does anybody actually sell the traditional sales method? Does anybody know what that's that? Thank you, Anna. I appreciate that. Traditional sales method is you contact the person, which is the C in care. You start asking questions, which is the A. You start recommending products, which is the recommend, the R. And then the E is exploring the close of the sale. Basic stuff, right? Especially whenever you're selling houses. The thing is about Twitter is that it's great for parts of it, but here are some of the things that I've learned from personal experiences or from seeing other folks that are actually out there. Contact. First one. I'm not a PowerPoint person, so there's no visuals. The contact thing is, whenever you're on Twitter and you're actually trying to contact a person, just cut to the chase. Don't beat around the bush and say, oh, what do you do? Or how much revenue are you bringing in? How's business going? Just cut to the chase and just say, hey, notice yourself. And that gives you an opportunity to be direct, right to the point, and use yourselves as an example. When a person from, testing out the camera, when a person actually comes up to your door, like give me an example of a person that comes to your door, door sales.
Security systems.
Security systems. How many of you think that he's going to waste your time in the beginning when he walks into your door? Almost everybody. So that's what Twitter does. It cuts the time and says, okay, immediately this person's going to give me the right information that I want to know. And you as a person, as a salesperson, what's the most valuable thing that you have?
Time.
Exactly. Thank you. I'm glad someone thinks that. They're not wasting your time by saying, oh, this is really great. Oh, this is really fun. And then 2 days later, 5 days later, 5 hours later, they're saying, oh, by the way, I'm not interested. At least if you start contacting them in the beginning, they'll kind of get the idea that, okay, well, this person is interested. I'm interested in their product. There might be something that can help them out there. Other things is that don't ask questions that are always salesmen-y. What I mean by that is, are you getting a good deal on your rate right now? Are you getting the best bet for your bargain? Because then that brings that wall up, that personal level. And by bringing that wall up, that gives you less of a chance to close the sale. Does that make sense? Okay. Other things is using direct messages and actually responses, that little @ sign. Direct messages actually give you the capability of obviously being private. And there's just some things that you just can't get out there on Twitter that it just disrespects people's privacy. So as much as I'm not a big fan of following everybody in the world and their mom, sometimes you just have to follow the right people. Pick and choose the people that you need to talk to. Because direct messaging will give you that instantaneous, okay, we're building the relationship. We're starting the contacting. We're starting the sales. So I recommend that. And of course, start asking questions. Twitter's great for that because you ask the questions that are right to the point. I was a journalist. Peter's a journalist. I'm not bragging on journalists, but sometimes questions, whenever you get asked a question, is it tough to answer questions that are extremely lengthy? Is it tough to ask like those hard-hitting questions that you're like, well, how's that relevant to my sale? That's why 140 characters works great. Cut right to the chase. You waste less time for that one too. And then as well as, and I keep that common thing, try not to look like a salesperson, but just try to get to know your client and try to assess their needs. One time I was actually training a sales rep with me at the Journal, and she says, Crystal, how do you do it? And I said, do what? And I said, I talk to people all the time. She goes, no. How do you ask these questions? Well, it sounds like you're peering into their lives, but these questions are actually the solutions or the answers to the solutions to end up getting them to buy. And she goes, that's just part of the things. And to tell you the truth, Twitter kind of helps that out because you just get right to the point. So, any questions, comments so far? We're still on the CARE. Yes.
Actually, you're talking about the @ sign.
Yes.
I don't know what these things do.
What they do is.
I've got a Twitter account, but it's just, you know, I don't do much with it. And I don't know what the # sign and the @ signs and those things mean or what they do.
I would recommend first, if you're planning to use Twitter as a sales tool, don't use it quite yet. Because it's kind of like the personal life versus the work life. It's hard to start a business if your personal life is kind of like in cahoots. And I use that example a lot because your business life and work life are very similar. They're practically mirrors with each other. With that being said, learn how to use Twitter first in the @ sign. What that @ sign means is, actually, if you can better explain.
The @ sign it directs it directly to the person. So if I put, you know, @Snooks13, it shows up in a column directly for her, so it doesn't get lost in the stream that might not otherwise be seen.
Exactly.
If I do a direct message, it goes to her, but it's a private one that not everybody can see. Because if I send an @ message to Patsy, and Christelle is following both of us, she'll see that conversation.
And she can chime in.
And she can chime in. So it's not completely private, but the direct messaging is the private one. The # sign is a hashtag. And it just makes it so you can kind of click on it and you can link up. So if you're at a lot of times they're used at conventions and conferences are real popular, or organizations might do it.
And I'll actually explain a little bit more about hashtags and how to use that in your sales technique here in a few.
So then I'll let you cover that one more because we could go on with that one.
Okay. So recommending products. It's okay. That's what I'm saying. Explore Twitter first. It's just in general. It's explore it at your own leisure. If you can't get comfortable with it, that's okay. It's just like a pair of pantyhose. Sometimes you just gotta try different ones on.
I don't get that.
We'll do it for the guys. It's the boxer versus.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
All right, you've got it now.
I understand it. I think it was too many years of marriage life.
Wait,
We'll get Rich some pantyhose.
that was a really bad example.
We'll let you know. Okay.
You're welcome for the
Since
bad
I don't have a
example.
name on
I'm
my
sorry.
Twitter.
You don't have a name on it?
No, I do, but I don't remember what it is, because I click on the icon and I'm already logged in, so I don't.
That's okay. Feel free to ask other folks that are on Twitter, because Twitter is one of those communities. Find people that you already know that are on Twitter and they can help you out. Probably not find a pair of pantyhose. It's fine.
That was good.
R&E and Care Plus in the traditional sales method is obviously recommend again and also exploring closing the sale. Here's the thing, and to kind of answer your question about ROI, ma'am, recommending is good, but at the same time, it's not good on Twitter. Here's the reason why. Patsy is a mortgage broker. Devonna is a owner of a flower shop. Peter's a journalist. 3 different industries, 3 different solutions. Because there's 3 different solutions, the recommendation is going to be different for every person. Also price structure, depending on what type of things that you sell. Higher end homes, lower end homes, they're going to be different. So I don't always recommend doing the recommendation on Twitter. That's when hopefully by then you've established the relationship with your prospective customer where you can close them at that point, face to face. And the most important thing that sales professionals are trying to achieve is trust. And so because they're trying to treat that trust, hopefully your tactics on Twitter and also by getting the appointment with them will have you a better chance to close the sale. So to answer your question about ROI, the return on the investment, it's very hard to measure. For my type of sales, it's easy to measure because I can say how many people that I've actually approached through Twitter and how many of those folks I've closed. So that